Hello, and welcome back to here on my single player world. It's been quite some time. I had been playing on the Rotten Black SMP for quite a while, just exclusively, but now I'm going to try to go back to doing both, or I haven't really done that before, but I'm going to be going back to playing on here while also still doing stuff, obviously, over on the server. But I don't want to forget about this world, and I've got some fun plans that I really want to get to doing. But before that, I thought it would be nice to do a little bit of a world tour because not only do you guys might need a bit of a reminder of what's going on here, but I definitely need it too because it's been like a year-ish since I first started this world. And it's been a lot of months since I've last played on it when I was before the whole Rotten Block stuff started. So let's go and tour around a bit of the different builds that I've made. This is the first one here. It was the starter house that I made. Even before I started the making videos out of this world, it was just a world that I was making on my own. I made this cute little house, and I also made the barn back here, over here, and then I also made some like farms and stuff inside that hillside, which we'll go check out later. But those were sort of the first things this world was founded off of, and then I started making videos because I really like how the build looks. Now, throughout the video, I'm going to be going into free cam if you haven't seen that before. It's not cheating. I'm still over here. Well, I guess some people consider it cheating. I don't because my character's not actually moving. It just gives us a little bit of a cool perspective to actually look at things. So I think this is kind of like the perfect build. I don't think anything else here in the world, unfortunately, has done better than this. Like, this is my best build and might be still the best build that I've ever done. I've been thinking about it a lot, and while a lot of my modern builds, especially over on Rotten Block, are really cool, really impressive, but there's just something so nice and cozy about this starter house that I haven't been able to replicate. And I'm gonna, for this video, try to give a little rating on my past builds on, now that I've given it some time to set in over, the whole year for this one, and for however many months for some of the other ones. But I'm gonna give it a rating, and for this one, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. And for those curious, in here is where my storage system still is. I have not moved out, though the storage has gone way too cramped. I've had to expand over here for like random stuff, and honestly, I need to do a bit of reorganization. And then if we go up this way, we can also go look at the upstairs, which is just a nice little decorated bedroom. And then you can also make your way kind of zigzaggy over here and out on this little balcony, which is cool. Though there isn't much of a view yet for what you can actually see from here. Hopefully I'll be building stuff over on the other side of the canal over there. And it'll look pretty cool. Now, if we make our way outside, we have got the barn out over here. So this kind of came hand in hand. I really love breeding horses in this game. Some might find it annoying, but I think it's awesome. So all these horses have got numbers associated with them. And I think this must be my best guy because I gave him diamond armor. I mean, that looks pretty fast. So I'm going to assume, yeah, that is him. And I think that's like almost perfect stats, not on the health, but on the jumping and the speed. And I made this little barn around here. I think it's really cool. Up here, upstairs, I have got where an Enderman put a block, but I've also got a little enchanting setup up here. And then there's a lot of unused space also that we could be putting other stuff up in the attic if we wanted to. Or I'll probably just leave it as is because I always love making new buildings anyways. Now, for the barn, I think I really like it in its simplicity, right? It's not that complex. There's not much like going on with it, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's what makes it so like cute. And it also like doesn't take away from the more important build out front, right? It's like the background piece of it, even though it does still have a lot of use. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's not as good as this because it's got a lot of cool details and stuff, and it isn't very complex, admittedly, but it's still very nice. Now, we've been talking about some of my starter stuff here, which I gave a 10 out of 10 because I thought it was the best. Now let's go to the opposite, which is over here. It's the last thing I've made in this world, and it's also what I would consider the worst. um, I've never really done large terraforming before, so this is my first big foray into it. Like I've done little bits of terraforming with like these little bits of rock and stuff, and sometimes you'll like cut away a hillside or whatever, but actually trying to like make it look really pretty and in a large area like this, have never done it. And so, as you can tell, I got a bit lazy. I did no texturing. And I told myself I'd go back and do it later, and it's later now, and it still isn't done. So that's kind of my own fault. Now, there are some things I really like about this. I like this little like jut out over here. That's got a cool slope to it. I love the waterfalls in this. Like this one in particular, it's hiding the cave in the background. I made sure to keep that because that was very important for how I wanted it to look. And I love how I made the glass down at the bottom. I think I did a good job with those. And it being like multi-tiered, that's very cool. It's just when you're looking at it from down below, down here, this is the angle that I see it from the most. And most of what you can see is not the bottom of the waterfalls. You can't actually see any of that unless you're like flying from above. So what you end up seeing is just a bunch of plain stone. And it's the part that I did the least amount of work with, is the part that I see the most. And so for that reason, I'm giving this a 2 out of 10. It was a lazy effort. It was a first effort though, so maybe it deserves a higher credit because of that. But it was lazy. But that just means that my second effort is going to be better, and hopefully I won't be as lazy next time. And we can always come back later if I need to try to fix things up and make it look a bit better. Because, I don't know, that might happen. Maybe it won't. We'll see. But let's head down here. This was the second kind of big build. I mean, if you don't consider, I can kind of consider those two the same. And then the Cave of Contraptions back there, whatever I called it, is also kind of a different build. But this is like the second like building, I guess, or main building that I built here. At least that's how I consider it. It was like my second video or something. No, it was my third video. I don't know. But it was for a little bee farm. So I really love how the actual like bees come out here into this little like greenhouse looking thing. And, they got the flowers all in it. So obviously the bees are happy. And they make way too much of this honeycomb. It is full up. I don't use that much honeycomb. I didn't need that many bees, to be honest, for how little honeycomb I use. But I'm glad I have it in case I need it. And I can always switch it up for just making honey and stuff. And it's even got a little bit of interior. I love this little balcony out here. This is nice. And if I go upstairs, it's even got a little bit of an attic space, which was suggested by it was some commenter back in the day. I don't remember their name, but they suggested this. And I love their suggestion. And I still don't like really come up here because it's not like, oh, I do have stuff up here. I have extra storage, but I never need extra. But like, I don't really have a reason to come up here, but I do like that it's decorated. A lot of my builds I got lazy with and didn't do the interiors, so I'm glad this one does. But also don't look downstairs because this part doesn't have an interior. I've got just a little sheep farm with just one sheep. I don't use much wool, so I haven't needed more than just this one guy, which is pretty cool. And then also, there is a gunpowder farm. If we look down below in FreeCam, you can see that there is a million bajillion layers. And the reason why I made so many layers is because I did not light up a lot of the caves around here. So it's like super inefficient. It doesn't do a great job. But when you're only one person and you've got so many layers, it works out. Because this is way more gunpowder than I'm ever going to need. Unless I blow up a mountain, then I'll like run out. But that'll be fine. Now, I've talked a lot of good things about this build, and I think there are a lot of good things, but there are some things I don't like how it turned out. Personally, I don't like all this red concrete that's in here. I tried to do some shading, and from far away it looks okay, but when you get up close, it kind of looks weird. Some of the shading is okay, some of the shading isn't great. And so because of that, I feel like it detracts from the total build. I don't want to go in and change it though. I feel like it's historical. Like I don't want to like try to fix it later on, even though I do want to fix this. Like this one was like unfinished. This one was finished. I'm not quite happy with how the finish it looks. It's a bit of a different opinion, but I think it's got a lot of things going for it. It's not the best though. I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. I think there's a lot of cool things. I love the little sunroof. I like the solar panels it's got up top. Like the little deck out back, even though it's got nothing on it. Maybe even an 8 out of 10. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But let's look at this truck. This truck, if you've been watching my channel, you know all about it because I keep on bringing it up. And this video would not be one of my single player videos if I did not try to bring it up. And I think it looks pretty good. The truck that I made on the Rotten Block SMP, I do like more. I don't think this one's like perfect by any means, though people have continued to give me great suggestions. But I think one of the kind of like worst features about it is just its shape. Like it looks too wide. I think it would have been better if it was just 3 wide. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Though then you wouldn't have had much space back here because I had to make this all full blocks, full block widths anyways. So it kind of had to be 4 across, but then it just doesn't quite have the shape that I want. It looks like a stumpy truck or something, or maybe it needs more of a front to it, right? More of a front coming out of the truck, or just something. Something isn't quite right with it. And as of course, as always, if you guys have suggestions for the truck, please leave them down in the comments below because we could just never stop talking about it. Maybe that's what'll happen. But I think for a lot of the features of the truck, it's got a lot of cool little things that people suggested, like the headlights and, gosh, I don't even remember there's been so many suggestions over time. But I'm going to give it like, let's say, we'll give it 7 out of 10. I think 7 out of 10 works. Now, before we continue on with the tour, I've got something very important to share with you guys. It's me. This is me, IRL. This is what I look like. And me, IRL, is here to share with you that this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm getting that correct, that's when I'm going to be doing my first ever stream. I'm going to be doing it here on YouTube, so it'll be very easy for you all to come and join. Because if you're already watching this on YouTube, it's like the same, but just in stream version instead of live video version. And then you hopefully are there at the time that it happens. But if you guys don't happen to be there at the time that it happens, the VOD will be up on my channel because it's streamed from YouTube, so it just goes directly into VOD form, and it'll be super easy for me to do. And it'll be super easy for you guys to watch later. I'm going to be working on stuff in the single player world. Like I said, I've got some big plans for what I'm going to be doing in the future, and that future is Sunday. So you guys can get sort of a sneak peek on what's going to be in the full video that'll be later on of the actual like full finished build and all of that. But besides just working on the new build, you guys can also just help me design it, you know, don't just watch me, help me talk about it. You guys could ask me questions while I'm streaming. You guys get to see more of my face, my beautiful face. So if you're into seeing my face and chatting and doing whatever, then come and join me Sunday at 8 p.m. I'm not just going to mess it up. Now let's make our way down over here to the nice little park area. That's what we run into first. I made this park after I hit 100 subscribers, so I called it Cent for 100, Sub for subscribers, and Uri because it sounded cool, and then Park. That was the name. And this was like my first goodish custom tree because I didn't even rate the custom tree we walked past at the beginning over there, but it's bad. It's really bad. Let me go into FreeCam over and fly by it just real quick. But it does not have enough leaves. It's got like just a little bit. I feel like if it did have more leaves, it could look good. I mean, it doesn't look the worst. It's really not good. I don't know. I'm not even going to rate it. It's like not even a thought in my head. Whereas this one's a thought. I really like it. I feel like there's some things that could have been changed though. I definitely should have used more andesite like walls and like stairs and stuff like that, and like try to add some better flow to the directions of things, and also made like smaller branches. These ones just have big branches and that's it. I've obviously learned a lot making trees in the future, especially the one on Rotten Block. I keep on talking about Rotten Block stuff, but that one was really good. But you know, I got like one thin branch. It's not much. It's a little too bulky for me. but it is a lot bigger, so it's automatically better than that, but it also probably could have used more leaves, which I feel like if I made more tiny branches, it would have helped me feel how big I needed the leaves to be. But it's not bad by any means, it's just not perfect. And then we got a little swing on it, and well, how would I rate this park? I think I would rate it 7 out of 10. I'm giving a lot of things 7 out of 10, but it's just kind of like, it's just kind of middling, you know? Like, it's not great, it's not bad. You know, it's on the better end of things. Like, it's not just like middle 5 or something like that. But yeah, I think 7 out of 10 describes it well. Okay, and then we've got over here the little townhouses. This is the one that I made first, and then this one's essentially a carbon copy, even the interior, but just like a different color to make it not look exactly the same. I feel like it looks pretty plain on the side, which is unfortunate because you can see it from the park over here. But from the front, it's got a lot going on, and well, it is kind of plain. I've learned a lot about these type of builds, about how you should structure them and stuff. And I feel like it's missing a lot of those pieces. But I really like that I actually did the interior, which is not very common for stuff I do. You know what? Before I even start on this, I should say there's actually like 2 houses here, sort of, because it's like a townhouse condo type thing where you got like one person living down here in the bottom, and then another person that lives up at the top. But it gets a little bit more complex if we go inside. So we've got a nice little living room into a nice little kitchen, and then it does have stairs going up to a bedroom up here, and then also has room for a balcony out front. And I really love these because of the interiors of them, not just because they have interiors, but because the interiors were so well thought out ahead of time. Like when I was first designing the actual structure of the build, I was thinking about how the interiors were going to come together. And that's how I was able to make that space there while also giving, and let's make our way over here. So this is the bedroom for the other condo, apartment, whatever you want to call it. And if we go into free cam real quick, this is where the other bedroom is. So you kind of share the second floor over here, which is kind of cool. And then if you go upstairs, then this is like their living room / kitchen, which they don't have a nice big TV, but they have such a nice balcony out here. And also I made sure to give both the bottom floor people and the upper floor people a purple couch. Why a purple couch? Because I wanted to give them a purple couch. Don't ask questions. But I actually really like the view from up here. It's nice that you can see the tree over this way. You've got the nice farmland over there. I should extend the farmland over this way because I want like the yellow field to come on down. That was always my like imagining of it. And maybe we can put in like a tree over here or something. Not quite sure, but I definitely like this view. It's got a lot going for it. So I won't show you the interior of this one over here because it's essentially exactly the same, just again, different colors. But I would rate these little townhouse condo dealios, maybe a 9 out of 10. Like, sure, there's some things on the exterior I don't like, but I love how the interiors are all connected up and fully decorated and all of that. And so it just makes me like really happy. And is there a bee inside? What the heck? I was just in there. Did I let him in when I was walking in? Well, I guess this is, he owns the top floor now. He's our first resident actually over here. I didn't think I was going to have any residents, but now I've got a resident in there. I guess we got to give him a name now if anyone's got suggestions. Okay, now this is the next build over here. If you cannot guess what it is, then maybe you can't read because those are signs telling you exactly what's inside. It's Pasta and Italia. It's an Italian restaurant in here. We've got the place where they take your order. We've got a lot of little booths all around. I like this kind of booth design. I think it's cool how it like, they all like can squeeze in really close to each other, but they also feel like closed off like a booth would. I almost wish maybe I should have made this like out of mahogany or something, or not mahogany, the mangrove, the redwood. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I said mahogany. But I wanted the red. I feel like red would also be good, but then it wouldn't look the same from the back, which would be, I guess you could also put trapdoors there, and that could work. But But overall, I like it. The walls are a little plain though. Could have used maybe some paintings and stuff. I do like the little kitchen in here. This is nice. Feels realistic, though this is where the fun interior ends and it just becomes plain. I never decorated this spot. It was supposed to be a little apartment over here. And then there's also supposed to be another apartment up here, which I, again, never decorated. Unfortunate. Though you can get all to the different floors, which is cool. And then you can also get up here to the top. And it's, yeah, a little bit decorated, so that's nice. And I also never finished up this sign. I really wanted this to read something, but I could not for the life of me figure out a good way to do it on an angle. People gave me some suggestions down in the comments, but none of them were like a good way to do it. So I just kind of left it blank. And maybe that's fine. Maybe it doesn't need to have anything since it's already got other signs on it. But though I do like the bright orange like highlight on it. I think it's fun. But yeah, I think this one's maybe an 8 out of 10. It could have been a 9 if the 2 floors were also decorated on the inside. But yeah, 8 out of 10, I feel like describes it pretty well. And now for this one over here that you guys haven't seen at all. This one's actually going to be new for you guys. This is something I had just worked on recently when I started getting back into this world. The build was like half done before. I knew I wanted it to be red, but there was a lot of wrong things going on with it. But since I'd been playing on the Rotten Block so much and building more of these downtown style buildings over there, and I've learned so much, I made a bunch of changes, and I feel like I really like how this looks. I really like the copper grates in here. I haven't used those for windows before, and they don't give you like a normal modern feel. It almost feels a bit, what do you want to call it? Like Middle Eastern or something? I don't know if I'm describing that correct. There's like some sort of architectural feel those give as windows that I think is actually really cool. Because I like some variety, you know, I don't want everything to be exactly the same. And I like the color combos of things. I did a lot of trial error on this. At first, I just had it like sandstone, like this over here. But I found like the little bit of like more yellow look that birch has, I feel like works really well with this. And then just having some sandstone around the windows works for that. And then the roof being copper because I love my copper roofs. But yeah, it also doesn't have an interior yet, mostly because it's very new and it wasn't like an official like build in a video or anything. So there's really nothing going on, though you can make your way all up to the different floors, which is always nice. And this one might honestly never have anything. I don't know if I'm going to come back to it. Maybe someday I will, if I'm just like bored and feel like doing interiors, but I feel like I'm not that insane. So probably just going to stay looking like that for a while. I think I'd give this one maybe 6 or 7 out of 10. It's just not anything special. It just sort of squeezed in there. There's no real purpose behind it. It does look cool. I like how it finally turned out, but it's not like great. And also, I shouldn't even be rating it because it's like a very recent thing I made after coming back to this world. So it's like too soon to fully rate it. But this build over here is not too soon. This one is probably one that most people have seen if you've watched my channel before. I made way too many tutorial videos showing off this build and the techniques related to it. But the only technique that I actually sticked with here on the survival world is the anti-aliasing one, which is where all these glass panes help smooth out the edges of the dome. Because even though it's a big dome, I mean, these ones aren't big, they're very small, but it's also like still doesn't have enough detail with just full blocks and like stairs and slabs and whatever. So having those panes help smooth things out means it looks like it's a lot higher quality and details than it actually is. And the glass blends in pretty good. You can tell, especially up close, but I like that the only place that I used this technique was way up high. So that means here on the world when we're just walking around, like you can't really tell up there what's going on. Also, I love these trees out front. I feel like I actually learned how to make trees at this point. These are the first good trees that I made. They're also copied over there onto that build, which is another reason why that one sucks so much. Because I got so lazy with it. I literally just copied the trees and pasted them over there, essentially. But this one, I have actually been meaning to get back to the interior, but I've I've been struggling with how to do it exactly. I know some ideas for what I want to put in here, but the biggest problem is, and you can see it over here, the windows aren't windows. I really want natural light in there. And you do get some skylight from the dome because the dome has some holes in it, secret holes. Let's go fly up there. It's got some glass that has just all the way through that you can't even tell is there. That will give some natural light down here whenever I do the interior. But I really want these windows to give natural light, but I also really like how they look from a distance and even up close and whatever, how they've got like the different, I don't know what to call it, the window pane, like structure thingamabob, whatever you want to call it. Like if I remove those, it's all gone. It's just going to be normal glass there, which is maybe fine, but it loses some of its charm then. I feel like some of its charm is how it looks now with those windows as they are. So I might have to try to get creative, maybe just windows on the other side of the builds. I'm not quite sure yet. Now, I am really happy with this build. It's almost a 10 out of 10 because it's like my first big build and it turned out so well. But my biggest gripe against it, looking back, is how desaturated it is. If you look at some of my other things around here, like I used a lot more bright versions of the copper on the roofs. This one I ended up just using this like lighter version, which I think works out for the style of it. But like everything else also is like very desaturated. And so I feel like it just looks so bland. And so I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10 instead of 10 out of 10 just because of that. Oh, and I almost forgot, good thing I remembered, we should go over here to where some of my little like farms are. I'm just gonna quickly go through it because it's not super exciting, but got some sugarcane, got some pumpkins and melons in here. That's a random chest with, oh, that was my mud farm disassembled. It never worked properly. It didn't happen in the video properly. Here's a little bone meal farm. Here's a mushroom farm where you place down the mushroom down there and you make it grow. There's some Malays that I haven't done anything with. There's some unfinished, unhidden redstone, whatever you want to call. Here's a bunch of flower field farm things that I was going to try to do. Here's an actual flower farm. Yeah, you know, if I had to rate this one, I feel like I don't like this. I don't like the orange up here. But otherwise, the walls are okay. It's fairly nice looking. I mean, it's just, it does what it needs to do. I'll give it maybe like a 4 out of 10. It's functional. It does it. It looks generally pretty except for the end. Yeah, it's good enough. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for the tour. I'm honestly missing a lot of the essentials here on the server. I realized that after being on Runtblock for so long. Like I don't have a proper XP farm, I realized. I have just a spawner like over in that hillside over there that I made into like a little farm, but it's just spawners are so slow. And so I feel like I need a better farm. I know the silverfish ones, those do like really good nowadays. So I might need to make one of those, or maybe I go make an ender. Probably just a silverfish one though, so I don't have to go to the end every time. Now, before I leave you guys, I just wanted to mention that yes, I do have plans for the future of this world. That's why I'm actually doing the world tour, because I'm going to be working more here on the world, building some new things, and it won't just be new downtown buildings. We are going to be not doing anything over there. We're still going to be doing things around this area, but just not those type of buildings. I've kind of run out of steam on building those because I've built so many of them, which is fine, you know, had my fun with it. But now I'm moving on to bigger, better things, and hopefully still very beautiful. And of course, if you guys have any suggestions for what you'd like to see in the world going forward, whether it be a new downtown building, a new farm you want to see me build, if you'd like to see me to like do more redstone on camera, more farm building on camera, or if there's some sort of build you want to see, if you want to see this area over here actually filled with stuff, because I definitely do. If you guys have suggestions for there, it's kind of hard with the mountainside behind it, though I guess we could always tear down the mountain. Not that that would be fun, but, you know, we could. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all were very inspired by the things that I built here in my world. And I will see you all in the next video.